All right, we're gonna talk today about insurance coverage on your automobiles. By the end of this video, you're gonna understand exactly what the laws are about insurance coverage in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and you're gonna get tips and guidance on how to make sure that you and your family are fully protected through your insurance policy in the event of a collision or anybody being hurt in a car accident. So let's talk about the history of this. Back in the 80s, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts legislature passed some laws to create a minimum amount of insurance that everybody needed to carry when they drove a car in Massachusetts. And at the time, that was $20,000 per person, $40,000 per accident. And in the 1980s, that was a pretty good sum of money. If you were in a car accident and someone was gonna pay you $20,000 for your damages, in the 80s, that seemed like a very fair minimum. However, we're in 2025 now, and the world is a lot more expensive. And medical care is a lot more expensive. So here's what's happened since then. In July of 2025, the legislature in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, under Mass General Laws, Chapter 90, Section 34, and Chapter 175, increased the minimum insurance coverage that we're all required to carry to $25,000 per person, $50,000 per accident. So while it goes in the right direction, it's hardly going to compensate you for what happens when you're in a car accident. Let's talk about that. You're rear-ended by somebody and you're injured, and the ambulance comes and takes you to the hospital. Right away, you have a bill for the ambulance ride, usually about $3,000. You have a bill at the ER. Maybe they do x-rays, CAT scans, and MRI, multiple $1,000s just on the first day. Then you have to seek other treatment. Your primary care. Maybe you go to physical therapy. Maybe you have to see an orthopedic for an orthopedic injury that you sustained. Possibly you need surgery. The medical bills are significant and they increase quickly when you're in a car accident. But if the person who hit you only has the minimum coverage, even at $25,000, that's not going to be enough to compensate you for the medical bills, the amount of time you treat for your injuries, and the pain and suffering that you've sustained. And why is that? Why is it so expensive? Why is the medical industry so pricey in 2025? Well, part of the reason in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts is that an awful lot of people receive their medical insurance through public benefits. For example, Mass Health or Medicare. And what happens with Mass Health and Medicare is that they pay about 30 to 40% of any medical bill to the hospital. Okay, so if your medical bill from a hospital is $1,000, Mass Health or Medicare is probably not going to pay more than $400 of that $1,000 to the hospital. And they do it on a percentage basis. Similarly, private health insurances, Blue Cross, Harvard Pilgrim, those type of Tufts, those type of private health insurances, they don't pay 100% on the dollar either for your medical bills. So you've probably all gotten the statements from your doctors where they billed your health insurance, $500 and only $350 of it was paid, and now you have to pay the remaining $150 and you get a bill. We've all had that experience. Well, that's because your health insurance company doesn't pay 100%. So whether it's Mass Health or Medicare, which pays about 30 to 40%, or private health insurance, which might pay 50 to 70, 75%, none of them are paying 100% of your medical bills. So as a result, what hospitals and doctors have done is they've increased the charges for medical care. They've increased them so that when they get 40% or 50% or 60% from your health insurance company, they're getting a larger amount of money. That is what is driven the cost of medical care up. And the flip side of that to a person who's injured in a car accident is that if the insurance of the other driver is not enough to compensate you for your medical bills in the period of treatment and all the pain and suffering, you're stuck because they were only required by law to carry $25,000 per person and $50,000 per accident in automobile coverage. So what can we do about this? What is the best way for you to protect your family? First of all, I encourage you to call a local insurance agent in your community. Insurance agents will shop around for the best deals. They'll ask you questions about your family. How many drivers do you have? How old are they? How experienced are they? Do you own a home? What kind of coverage do you want to have? What are you looking for? What are your concerns? And they'll ask you those questions to make sure they guide you correctly in making sure you have enough insurance coverage, so that if one person in your family caused the incident, you would have enough coverage to compensate the person who was injured. And by the flip side, they'll advise you to carry under insurance coverage on your own policy, so that if the person who causes the incident and the injury to you or a member of your family doesn't have enough insurance, you can then tap into your own policy. So the legislature setting minimums is a good step, but the minimums are far too low and should be higher. But you don't have to wait for the legislature to raise the minimums. You can choose to ask your insurance agent to purchase you more coverage so that your family is better protected and not exposed potentially to anybody coming after you for your personal assets because you were not insured enough to compensate them. And really importantly, there's one more thing that the legislature has done. In Massachusetts, we all carry something called personal injury protection on our automobile policies. We commonly refer to it as PIP, P-I-P. And what that is it's no fault medical coverage. If you're in a car accident, even if you caused the car accident, your own insurance company is going to pay either $2,000 or $8,000 of your medical bills, no matter who is at fault. And the legislature passed that in, again, Mass General Laws, Chapter 90, Section 34. PIP is covered under 34M. They passed that because they want to make sure that if you're injured in a car accident, you can get medical care right away, and you're not waiting for some other insurance company of the other driver to decide that they're going to pay for your medical care. So you don't have to wait. You can go get it under your own policy, which is good, except the maximum that's passed by the legislature is $8,000 in coverage. And again, as we've discussed in this video, the cost of medical care being as high as it is, $8,000 is not very much. And when that amount of money is tapped out, your doctors and hospitals and medical providers are going to bill your bills to your health insurance company. And if they're significant, sometimes your health insurance company will put a lien on your personal injury settlement. So it all works together in terms of our world in personal injury to ask our clients to make sure that they are covered, that they have enough insurance in their own policy, whether bodily injury coverage if they cause an incident or under insurance coverage if an incident is caused to them, so that they do not have to be out of pocket and so that they do not have to be damaged and not be properly compensated for what they've gone through. If you have any further questions about this, you should call Orlando & Associates, and we will continue to walk you through step by step this entire process and make sure you and your family are completely protected and have enough insurance.